Cybersecurity, mini course. Vulnerability management. Going from zero experience to becoming a cybersecurity vulnerability management analyst earning a six-figure salary. By RFBAH. Section 5, Vulnerability Management and Compliance. Summary, Subsection 1. Understand the role of vulnerability management in compliance with regulatory requirements. Subsection 2. Align vulnerability management practices with industry standards and frameworks. Subsection 3. Demonstrate compliance through vulnerability reporting and audits. Understand the role of vulnerability management in compliance with regulatory requirements. The role of vulnerability management in regulatory compliance. Vulnerability management plays a crucial role in ensuring compliance with various regulatory requirements across industries. Many regulations mandate that organizations implement effective vulnerability management practices to protect sensitive data, maintain system integrity, and minimize the risk of cyber attacks. By implementing a robust vulnerability management program, organizations can demonstrate their commitment to data security and regulatory compliance.
Key regulatory requirements addressed by vulnerability management. 1. Data security regulations. Regulations such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in the European Union, and the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, PIPEDA, in Canada, require organizations to implement appropriate technical and organizational measures to protect personal data. 2. Information security standards. Industry-specific standards such as the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS, and the Healthcare Information Security and Privacy Practice, HIPAA, security rule mandate that organizations implement vulnerability management practices to protect sensitive data. 3. Cybersecurity frameworks. Frameworks such as the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, Cybersecurity Framework, and the Center for Internet Security, CIS, Security Controls, CSC, emphasize the importance of vulnerability management in establishing a comprehensive cybersecurity program. Benefits of vulnerability management for regulatory compliance. 1. Demonstrated compliance. Effective vulnerability management demonstrates an organization's commitment to regulatory compliance and helps avoid potential fines, penalties, or legal actions for non-compliance. 2. Reduced risk of data breaches. By proactively addressing vulnerabilities, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of data breaches, which can lead to regulatory fines, reputational damage, and customer lawsuits. 3. Improved security posture. Vulnerability management contributes to an organization's overall security posture, making it more resilient against cyber attacks and protecting sensitive data. 4. Enhanced cybersecurity awareness. Vulnerability management fosters a culture of cybersecurity within an organization, raising awareness about the importance of identifying and addressing security flaws. 5. Competitive advantage. Demonstrating compliance with regulatory requirements and maintaining a strong security posture can provide a competitive advantage in industries where data security is paramount. Align vulnerability management practices with industry standards and frameworks. Aligning vulnerability management practices with industry standards and frameworks is crucial for organizations to ensure a comprehensive and effective approach to identifying, assessing, and remediating vulnerabilities. These standards and frameworks provide guidelines and best practices for implementing a robust vulnerability management program, helping organizations achieve a strong security posture and meet regulatory requirements. Key industry standards and frameworks for vulnerability management. 1. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, Cybersecurity Framework. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework provides a comprehensive framework for managing cybersecurity risks, including vulnerability management. It outlines 5 core functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover, and provides guidance for implementing vulnerability management activities within each function. 2. Center for Internet Security, CIS, Critical Security Controls, CSC. The CIS-CSC provides a prioritized set of security controls that organizations should implement to protect their systems and applications. CSC 5, Vulnerability Management, outlines specific requirements for identifying, classifying, prioritizing, and remediating vulnerabilities. 3. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS. The PCI DSS is a security standard for organizations that handle credit card information. Requirement 11.5 of the PCI DSS mandates that organizations implement a vulnerability management program to identify, prioritize, and remediate vulnerabilities. 4. Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act HIPAA Security Rule. The HIPAA Security Rule is a regulatory standard for organizations that handle protected health information, PHI. Amendment 45 CFR 164.312d of the HIPAA Security Rule mandates that organizations implement a vulnerability management program to identify and address security weaknesses. 5. ISO IEC 27001:2013 Information Security Management Systems, ISMS. The ISO IEC 27001:2013 standard provides a comprehensive framework for implementing an information security management system, ISMS. Annex A.12 of the standard specifically addresses vulnerability management practices. Benefits of aligning vulnerability management with industry standards. 1. Benchmarks and best practices. Industry standards and frameworks provide benchmarks and best practices for vulnerability management, ensuring that organizations are implementing effective practices aligned with industry expectations. 2. Consistent approach. Aligning with industry standards promotes a consistent approach to vulnerability management across different organizations, enabling comparisons and benchmarking of security posture. 3. Reduced risk of oversights. Industry standards help identify potential areas of vulnerability that may be overlooked if relying solely on internal processes. 4. Demonstrated compliance. Compliance with industry standards can be used to demonstrate an organization's commitment to cybersecurity best practices to regulators, auditors, and customers. 5. Continuous improvement. Industry standards evolve over time, providing opportunities for organizations to continuously improve their vulnerability management practices and adapt to emerging threats. Demonstrate compliance through vulnerability reporting and audits. Vulnerability reporting and audits play a crucial role in demonstrating an organization's compliance with regulatory requirements and industry standards related to cybersecurity. These activities provide evidence of an organization's efforts to identify, assess, and remediate vulnerabilities, ensuring that their systems and applications are adequately protected against cyberattacks and data breaches. Vulnerability reporting. Elements of effective vulnerability reporting. 1. Vulnerability identification. Clearly identify the vulnerabilities that have been discovered, including their associated systems, applications, and software components. 2. Vulnerability assessment. Provide a detailed assessment of each vulnerability, including its severity, exploitability, and potential impact on the organization's assets. 3. Remediation plan. Outline the remediation plan for each vulnerability, including the specific steps to be taken, the timeframe for remediation, and the responsible individuals. 4. Remediation verification. Document the verification of vulnerability remediation, confirming that the vulnerabilities have been successfully addressed and that the risk has been mitigated. 5. Regular reporting. Generate regular vulnerability reports that summarize the identified vulnerabilities, their assessment, remediation status, and overall security posture of the organization's IT environment. Vulnerability auditing. Scope of vulnerability audits. 1. Vulnerability management policy. Evaluate the organization's vulnerability management policy to ensure its alignment with industry standards and regulatory requirements. 2. Vulnerability scanning. Assess the organization's vulnerability scanning practices, including the frequency of scans, the tools used, and the scope of systems scanned. 3. Vulnerability assessment. Evaluate the organization's vulnerability assessment procedures, including the criteria used for prioritizing vulnerabilities, methods used to determine their severity and impact. 4. Vulnerability remediation. Assess the organization's vulnerability remediation process, including the timeliness of remediation, the effectiveness of remediation actions, and the verification of remediation outcomes. 5. Vulnerability reporting. Evaluate the organization's vulnerability reporting practices, including the comprehensiveness of reports, the accuracy of information, and the frequency of reporting. Benefits of vulnerability reporting and audits. 1. Demonstrated compliance. Vulnerability reporting and audits provide evidence of an organization's compliance with regulatory requirements and industry standards, reducing the risk of regulatory fines or penalties. 2. Improved security posture. Regular vulnerability reporting and audits help identify potential areas of weakness and ensure that vulnerabilities are addressed promptly, improving the overall security posture of the organization's IT environment. 3. Risk management. Vulnerability report audits contribute to effective risk management by providing insights into the organization's cybersecurity risks and enabling informed decision-making about resource allocation and mitigation strategies. 4. Transparency and accountability. Vulnerability reporting and audits promote transparency and accountability within the organization, ensuring that all stakeholders are aware of cybersecurity risks and that remediation efforts are being conducted effectively. 5. Continuous improvement. Vulnerability reporting and audits provide opportunities for continuous improvement of vulnerability management practices, enabling the organization to adapt to evolving cybersecurity threats and maintain a high level of security maturity.
Thank you. Go to the next section.